I felt compelled by those words, and I've just patched them up a little bit. There was a couple little mishaps in there, so I'm going to share this with you. I wrote this yesterday and today. I wrote the verse today, the rap, and the song yesterday. I just called it "I've Washed My Hands." August 17th, 2023 was the last I touched it at 5:02 p.m. But I wrote it yesterday, so that was August 16th. And I wrote it about sometime right before dinner this afternoon. I've done my share of what ain't worth the mention, made quick work of deeds shouldn't have ever done. I wonder, after all I've done, still living, only by the grace of God, His Son. Met my share of men in swift ascension, most of them admit they've done enough for God to lose His interest, but He didn't. Still calling out their names, though most won't come. Call my name, Lord, I will come a-running. To reunite I'd like with my first love. Without you now I ain't no good for nothing. If it means so much to you, Lord, lift me up. Looking back on life, it sure is something, seeing the effects of what I've done. I don't mean to be so downright stubborn. Just hope I am prepared for what's to come. Lord, help me be prepared for what's to come. Second verse. I have seen my share of new beginnings. About time, if you ask me, that we had one. Overdue, I've done my share of sinning. Never meant to hurt the one I love. I don't deserve, but trust in your forgiveness. I could never do to earn what'd be enough. To overlook, won't ask, the way I've been living. Just hope and pray that you won't hold a grudge. Call my name, Lord, I will come a-running. To reunite I'd like with my first love. Without you now I ain't no good for nothing. If it means so much to you, Lord, lift me up. Looking back on life, it sure is something, seeing the effects of what I've done. I don't mean to be so downright stubborn. Just hope I am prepared for what's to come. Lord, help me be prepared for what's to come. Never dreamed I'd be here where I'm sitting, somewhere in between, at times feel stuck. But if you'll lead the way, Lord, I will follow. On me, I just hope you won't give up. I always thought myself with sin be smitten, but I don't feel the same as I did once. I have no doubts that Christ, He has arisen. I am not the same way that I was. In the army, rose against you, held position. Faced with adversity of all sorts, I didn't budge. You know well, was always on a mission, doing what I know should have never done. Doing what I never should have done. Looking back, I can't believe I'm living. In light of it, the beast I have become. Never thought that I'd become a Christian. Lord above, I'll let you be the judge. Lord above, I'll let you be the judge. I washed my hands of what I used to grasp as if of worth. I've been a curse to earth, a blessing I could never earn. I've dug my grave to lay, could say I've done my share of dirt. I missed my chance at love because I did not care for her. Aaron. I washed my hands of what I used to grasp as if of worth. I'd been a curse to earth, a blessing I could never earn. A lesson I would never learn. I dug my grave to lay, could say I've done my share of dirt. I lost my one true love, if not for God who cared for her. Forgot my first love, just like Revelation said I had. An enemy of God, had always called the devil dad. Still fly my rebel flag, cause that was all I ever had. Besides a pedal flat to metal mashed, I sped too fast. Through life left several lap, most crippled up in wrecks that crashed, while I took checkered flags. Still in the wind, no better chaff. Now I'm left severed, slashed, to wash without my better half. In life I've wept and I've laughed, the tears I've shed on your behalf. Now, today I wrote that last little bit that's kind of like rap. But this I finished off. I felt compelled by that last little bit, and I wanted to extend it, so I wrote a few more verses. Forgot my first love, just like Revelation said I had. I never read that chapter, left it out, a dreadful drag. An enemy of God, had always called the devil dad. Still I fly my rebel flag, cause that was all I ever had. Besides a pedal flat to metal mashed, I sped too fast. Through life to die, left several lap, most crippled up in wrecks that crashed. While I took checkered flags, still in the wind, no better than chaff. Now I'm left severed, slashed, awash without my better half. In life I've wept and laughed, the tears I've shed on your behalf. Blind date to met with match-up, tit for tat, tat for tit, and tit for tat. In life I've wept and laughed, the tears I've shed on your behalf. Blind date to met with match up, tat for tit, and tit for tat. I've held a heavy grudge against who offered help. Felt that it'd only be a tragic waste if spent on me, my chances fat. Of all the worst, the best in fact, not special, spat out breathless gag. Gift granted as was every wish I made for what was not worth having. God for me, his neck outstretched, I'd strive to chop him headless hack. The code I could not keep that crypt too deep, fell dead, got leveled flat. The depth of it the sin was in would drown me if not rescued, rack my brain to find the reason why I ever took the devil's pass. The desperate lack, deceptive, lashed out mess I made of heaven's half. The bread unleavened, meshed with brash, the best I had was less than that. I learned my lesson, yeah, as if when took the test was passed, I mishap skipped instead the class. Wing spread that flapped behind left lagged. An evil spirit spread too thin, well overworked and flesh was wrapped. And just to wind up dead inside, got left behind the devil's lad. Another rat got trouble trapped. No better than the jesters jacked, I wandered lost the rebel's path, followed down the devil's pass. Rebellion reached for wretched ratchet damsels in distress to ravage, smash and dash, endeavored last to ever have, forever lacked. What took to make for messes made of what was once a blessing, blacked out, blotted from the book of life, felt God he would not ever have. Me measured up with met your match, and lacy bust up, leather wrap, dead presidents was in the bag, a trashy trick, my treasure trashed. I had the best of blasts, still pack a Smith & Wesson whack without a second guess and glad to take a stab at spells I'd cast. At any all who less than have what takes to make me bless them as if I had anything to offer, flat broke, stretched, cross torture racks. No wonder I'm so restless, wrapped up, mummified for dead left lap, just what I get for what I've done. To those made sure would never have, not half a chance if my way had, denied them in their faces laughed. I'd shaft them, blocked the shepherd's staff, knew better than to step to dad. Knew better than to ever step to dad. Connection cut, once tethered, tacked them on the ass end. First be last was blasphemous to say the least. Star quarterback, the letter lacked. The ones you wrote, I never read. Too full of self in hell, a laugh at best you get. I never grad. You wake me still, felt sure of that. You made me well. Felt destined yet, my motive so impure won't pass for what's impressive, never that. I caved under the pressure, cracked. The mystery unsolved remains beyond me, eons measures that, and falling short, the rod not spared. A child was spoiled, felt special as, if I was not ashamed at best. A curse throne blessed, I gave it back. What made me rich amongst mere men, ungrateful and expect you graft. I did not value what's of worth, instead I cherished fleshly trash. My black flag in the wind to flap, just hints a bit at how I'd have my way with all who in my way would not obey my orders, clash with titans as a tyke to take my best shot at the best of chaps. I made them cry and all the while wide grinning like the Cheshire cat. Of all the worst, the best in fact, my heart pitched black to ditch them basking, glorious a bastard at best, business big. I reveled in what only broke the heart of God. I gave no thought to this or that, just wasted what he gave me, glad to have at least enough to match with those who didn't measure up, a fallen, all falling short, bloodshed as fast as needed be to get ahead. At bay I kept them leapt to lash, I'd taken out aggression, graphed them in, dealt with in seconds flat. No thought at all for those they loved, that must have loved as well than that. No match for me, my evil unmatched, eager to have held them back. My worst would beat the best at that, worth crying about, made devils laugh. The Bible read from front to back, and just a swift dispute the facts. I will admit to fess I'm glad, at least if nothing else have that. When all's been said, when all's been done and said at last, can't say I've not been honest, Dad. Go together like the pen and pad. Who led me down the devil's path? It was not red or yellow, black. A bright white light have not yet spied, still here in tunnels where I'm trapped, where angels fell. In hell we have a better chance at chests we crack. Like safes in danger, kept us back from tangled tails, a mangled mash. Left whelps when cracked across my back, I've earned them each and every lash. I've always walked the rebel's path, and only I have held me back. Yeah. Let the record show that only I have held me back. I've always walked the rebel's path, no longer on the devil's path.